Because that old Rodolfo,
he hit gas out walking out to the cage.
Yeah, the one that we thought was going to show up to Chris Curtis, you know, he get tired going to check the mail and he'd be gassed. Okay, we got Cody, Michael Chandler Jr., Brundage.
Hey,
he looked just like Michael.
Hey, he don't hit like Michael though.
Nah, he looked like him though right here. Like for a second, I was like, man, who pictured this? And then we got Rodolfo Vieira. Now, I think they was on the same card actually. Rodolfo Vieira is coming off of a decision loss to Chris Curtis. Before that, he had a win over Dustin Stoltzfus. Before that, he had a surprising loss to Anthony Hernandez. I think Anthony took that fight on short notice and still won in some kind of way. Then we got Cody, who is turning out to be way better than anybody gave him credit for.
Hey, hold on, let me say this. You know they cut Dustin, right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't really age well when you got to win over somebody, which Dustin was winning. And he came back and he finished him, I think, in the third round. And he's no longer in the UFC. So it's like, that's almost 4 losses in a row you can have.
Almost. Well, one of those was a grappling on that record.
Well, 3 in a row. Okay.
Yeah, they be putting everything on here. You could have had a fight at a strip club.
They put his sparring matches on there.
Yeah, they put your school fight records on here. So you can't get beat up nowhere because Tapology gonna tell the truth. But Cody Brundage, man, that last fight, I was not expecting it. I thought Trizano was winning, oddly enough. Like at first it was competitive, but then Trizano started winning. He got hit hard, man. He just got hit with a right hand and Cody went into full mount and just TKO'd. It was brutal.
What amazed me is after he knocked out Trizano, he was just on the ground laying on his back. He was just so filled with like joy, man. He was like, I actually won. It's almost like he didn't think he was going to win the fight. But one thing I don't like about Cody, and the same thing when he fought against
Dalton,
he was losing both of those fights.
Yeah.
Dalton was putting hands on him, man.
That's how Dalton fights.
Yeah,
though.
You know, he typically be winning and then he'll shoot for a takedown and get submitted.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, but look who you're beating. You're beating guys who are screwing up.
Yeah, but Trizano didn't really screw up. Cody did that because Trizano didn't do nothing wrong.
I know, but I'm gonna tell you this though. When he fought Trizano, I forgot this happened, but I went and watched the fight again. Cody, he was shooting. He shot a lot of times, and then like he took Trizano down one time, and like he just popped back up. So he showed his game plan against Trizano. It was almost like, bro, he's getting by like coming back and being opportunistic against certain guys with low fight IQs.
But I'm gonna tell you something. Who fits into that category of the person you can also do that to.
No, but Rodolfo, his striking getting better though. This more likely gonna be a striking match though. Yeah,
his striking did look good, and man, I hate to say this. His cardio looked better. That ain't what I hated to say, but I hate to say this, what I'm finna say. You could argue he didn't lose that Chris Curtis fight. Even though he got stuffed on takedowns 20 times, and you can make an argument that
It was a couple of those rounds. I think the second round, they both landed the same number of significant strikes. And I think it was another round where it was close.
Hey, you can find it real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like his striking was a little bit surprising to Chris. Because I was even shocked, and I was thinking like, man, his striking looks better. It seems better, and his cardio actually didn't fade. And
so it was Rodolfo landed 41 significant strikes. Chris landed 46. The first round, Chris landed 17, and Rodolfo landed 19. But
he was hurting Rodolfo. That was the difference.
Yeah, so it was a close one.
I think that's probably what the difference was, which the decision is right. Chris won because he had more power on his.
Yeah.
But Rodolfo was throwing, and he looked good doing it. I'll just say that.
But I'm not impressed with Cody's striking. It's like, bro, his striking is not good. He countered Trizano Gore, man, but like, with Trizano Gore, I'm not making no excuses, but was he overconfident in that fight? And then it's not like Cody has crisp hands. He wins fights a lot of times because of his grappling.
Man, if I'm looking at the way Cody loses, okay, he lost the elbows to William Knight. That was in 2020.
And that's a big guy.
And yeah, I think William Knight last fight was a heavyweight. Then he lost to Nick Maximov by decision. It's hard to defend that one because Nick ain't in the UFC no more.
But the thing is with Cody, even before the UFC, I'm seeing a bunch of taking people down and ground and pounding them. Taking people down, taking their back real fast. That's not bad, right? But I'm not seeing him show something that can win him fights against elite guys in the UFC.
Well, the thing is, if Rodolfo's cardio and striking didn't look so good in his last fight, then I would pick Cody easily because that old Rodolfo,
he hit gas out walking out to the cage.
Yeah, the one that we thought was gonna show up to Chris Curtis, that Rodolfo, you know, he get tired going to check the mail and he'd be gassed.
This fight gonna come down to who got the better mixed martial arts skills. It's gonna come down to who could put the wrestling and the striking together. Because if Cody does his thing where he just shoots for takedowns, he might get submitted. And the thing is, but also Rodolfo, he might have to hurt him with the hands first and then submit him. Because he might not be able to just take him down and submit him. So
no, he's not going to.
This is going to come down to whoever can put the hands and the wrestling together. Whoever can do it the best going to win.
But I think that Cody is starting to feel good with these wins. And they're giving him a submission guy to see what he can do. Because what they'll probably do is, if he win this fight, they're going to probably give him like a RoboCop. Somebody who can, hey, that's what I'm saying. They be on some of the same cards, and they kind of...
Hope you talking about give him a role for a movie. Give him RoboCop. Don't give him Gregory, man, the way Gregory been looking.
But, man, Rodolfo looked good in the last fight, man. That's what kind of changes things for me. But ultimately, you got to pick a decision, and I would have to say, man, I like Cody, man. I've been very high on Cody lately. But even in that loss to Chris Curtis, Rodolfo looked kind of impressive. You know, he just looked better than what he did look in the past.
Improving on it.
Yeah. But Cody been looking amazing, too. And we could say, oh, he came back from this and that. Yeah. Sure. The Trizano fight and the Dalcha fight was only 1 round apiece. So it ain't like he was down 2 or 3 rounds and came back out of nowhere. They won a combined 6 minutes of the fight before they lost.
And that probably was going to be a 10-9 round.
Yeah.
For 10-9.
And they probably would have still lost the 10-9 to Cody in the next 2 rounds regardless.
Yeah.
So it ain't like he just getting his butt completely whooped and coming back. Like, they just having a moment early because they start off strong, and then he just catching them.
I just see a clear ceiling for Cody, if I'm going to just be honest.
You do? I think that Cody has a new ceiling.
New ceiling, the same height. I don't care if you put a new roof on there, it's the same height, man. Like, I can't see Cody beating none of these guys, man. I'm not trying to be mean or whatever, but it just, the losing and coming back. He has one of them styles where, like, that Brian Ortega style, where I could be losing, I come back and win.
But Brian was deep in the fights. Brian had a crazy record of, he was barely keeping his undefeated record because he was finishing people in the 3rd round with a minute left to go.
Yeah.
Like, just dangerous territory that you don't want to be in. Mm-hmm. Like, ridiculous. Bro, he was losing 2 minutes, 3 minutes of these fights, and he won. Let's not mistake it here, dude. Trizano and Dalcha probably won half of that round, half of the time of these fights that they took place.
Hold on, I'm looking at the Cody versus Nick Maximov fight, and Nick took him down 4 times and controlled him for almost 10 minutes. And we talking about big, strong Rodolfo he's fighting against.
Okay.
At one point, that's when Nick, they thought he was the next big thing. He was undefeated. But like I said, the wrestling going to cancel out, man. It's going to come down to who can put everything together.
Because Rodolfo didn't get no takedown from Chris Curtis. But it looked like Damian Maia and
Tyron.
Or Anderson.
Or Usman.
It's a few of them. But that fight was kind of rough, man, as far as the takedown percentage. So if Cody can keep the fight standing up is what it comes down to. Can his striking, I think he got more power than Rodolfo. But Rodolfo low-key had a little bit of power. I think he hurt Chris Curtis a few times. Low-key. I think he low-key hurt him.
I think there's so many questions about each fighter and how much they develop. You know, because they're both developing, man. But my prediction is I'm going to have to go with Rodolfo, man. I don't think I ever picked against him.
I'm going to pick, yeah, he could be fighting Superman and you would pick him. But I'm going with Cody just because it's a 50-50 fight anyway.